tomatoes in, my 2 different kinds of tomatoes, in my veg truck. And then I was like, I think that I need to do more. And that's what's so beautiful about a show like this. It's one of the final ones of their entire season, but there's still great opportunities here at great prices. This is the Asclepia. And original Asclepia might have even grown wild, but it really wasn't very attractive. So count on the Walleens to travel the world and find us this native Asclepia that will actually be deer resistant. You'll get 2 in orange, 2 in white, and 2 in pink. And the story and the give back as a gardener is way more important than how pretty this is.
I know, but the beauty does kind of, it's the cherry on top.
Oh,
but,
well, wait, Stephanie, and I apologize for interrupting you. 140 remain, that is it. And those Gerber daisies will be coming up in a moment. Let's focus Asclepia before the 140 sell out like the fig tree.
Yes, sounds good. So why Pat was mentioning, doing more, what makes this plant so special, and honestly, I think the most important plant that we all need to be growing, every garden in North America should be growing the Asclepia, is because it's the only plant in the world, Pat, that the monarch butterflies are going to find and lay their eggs on the underside of these leaves. And once those eggs hatch into the caterpillar, it's the only plant in the entire world that those caterpillars are going to eat. And then eventually, as we know, they go into a chrysalis and emerge the beautiful monarch. And what's, devastating is that the monarch butterfly population has decreased upwards of 80% in the last 2 decades. And it's actually now an endangered species. It was identified in July of 2022. And so truly, by all of us planting this in our gardens, even if you just have a deck or a patio, by planting this, you are doing your part in saving the monarch butterfly.
This is something you can do, build to, ship to, and send to your grandkids. Give to a teacher, because it's amazing. And you will see the caterpillars on these leaves.
Yes.
I mean, Stephanie, you live where it's warm on the West Coast. So you've had this experience, and you've gone to try and buy them from the garden center, and they weren't there.
That's right. I'm glad you remember my story, because that is a true story that happened to me over the summer. I had, a few of these plants growing, and I walked outside and I saw upwards of 50 caterpillars. It's actually, the next photo is going to show it, that I took. If we could get the Dubner down, there's a caterpillar behind there, and that is one that I took. And I was so pleased. There was about 50 of them, and I went out the next day, and there was almost no leaves left. So I said, oh no, they need more food. So I went to a local nursery. They didn't even have Asclepias for me to buy. So, truly, the monarchs are hungry. They're looking for food and safety, and this is the only plant that's going to provide that for them.
And it's beautiful in your garden. So let's talk about, do I need full sun, part sun, pot, ground?
So, these will grow. This is one of our most winter hardy perennials. So even if you live as north as the Canadian border, these will grow, thrive for you. They like the most sun possible. So at least 6 to 8 hours a day is what I recommend. And if you don't have a big yard, grow them in containers. They're just as beautiful. And I'm so happy that you mentioned traditional native wild Asclepias. Isn't that pretty? It grows like 6 to 7 feet tall.
Like milkweed, right?
Yeah, milkweed, exactly. And the color is not very beautiful. So we've hybridized that to be more compact, like you see here. This is going to grow only about 3 to 4 feet tall. And the colors are much more bold and vibrant. And I think you mentioned that there's white. This collection actually is yellow, pink, and orange.
Sorry,
no,
yellow,
that's okay.
pink, and orange.
Not your fault. And I wanted to show this also, because this is really important. We're not sending bare root. We're sending an already growing plant. You're getting 6 of these. So 2 of the yellow, 2 of the orange, and 2 of the pink. And you can see this plant, I mean, its roots, it's ready to go. It's rearing up to be planted into the ground or its container. And you're going to get flowers this very first year.
And they're perennials.
They're perennials, yes. And you're going to get monarchs this very first summer.
Perennials. That's how you build a garden.
Yes.
All right. Carrie, again, I was so in tune with what was going on. Fewer than 100 remain. Fewer than 100 remain. Look how beautiful these are. How cool is that going to be when you see those furry caterpillars on your plants?
Leave them.
Yes.
Sometimes, we see bugs and we get a little nervous. We want those striped caterpillars. That's the reason
That's their food.
Exactly. This is the only leaf in the world that the caterpillar of the monarch butterfly will eat. And
then imagine what you're giving back. These are endangered species that we have a chance to be able to help. I mean, that's the beauty of it, and that's the reason that, and Sandra did it with her family.
She did, yes.
You know, it's the coolest thing. Oh, here.
Look at this. So those are the beautiful striped caterpillars. They brought them inside. They fed them the Asclepias leaves. Her husband made this beautiful time lapse. It's like National Geographic on its own. And imagine watching this emerge. And I loved your suggestion of build two, ship two to your grandkids or to your grandkids' science teacher so that they can experience the beautiful story of Mother Nature starting from a plant, and then eventually you're going to release these monarchs back into the wild. It's absolutely a beautiful story, and one that we all need to be partaking in, because they really are endangered, excuse me. And so by planting this, if you live in Southern California, here in Pennsylvania, every garden in North America should be growing this.
It's up to us.
It is.
I mean, we don't want the next generation to be reading about a monarch butterfly and never having that experience to actually see them. We have the chance to make a difference right now. There's fewer than 100. They're going quickly. Buy as many sets as you want. Allow us to do build two, ship two.
Yes.
5 dozen now remain, and then these are totally gone for the season. You are getting 2 yellow, 2 orange, 2 pink. 6 plants with this, and whether you're going to go ahead and pop them in the ground, gardens, borders, you are getting something that will come back, and perennials just get better every single year.
Exactly right. You know, I've been living here for 5 months for the season. I can't wait to get home to see my Asclepias plants and, you know, all the butterflies and the caterpillars that it's going to have on them this summer.
That's magic.
And I love that you mentioned these are perennial. So plant them where they're going to stay. And, you know, I enjoy this photo of this mass planting. What we did actually here in Westchester is my uncle planted 1 collection in containers so that we can enjoy them on the deck, you know, when we're hanging out and we get to see the caterpillars and the monarchs. But he planted a 2nd collection, Pat, kind of farther out, tucked under the trees, so that it's a little butterfly haven. They don't get to be bothered. They just get to go and be, you know, safely laying their eggs and eating the leaves. And I wanted to mention one more time that this is one of the 6 plants. It's not a bare root. You're going to, you know, get 6 living plants. They're already, you can see the roots here. This is an ellie pot, so it's a biodegradable container. There's less plastic involved. Better for the environment, better for your plants. And from this, you know, we planted 1 of each color in this container, and this is by the end of the 1st season.
Wow.
So they're going to grow, you know, 3 feet tall once they're fully grown. But as you said, they're perennial, so they're going to come back next year bigger and better and just continue to thrive for you.
If you want more than 1 set, go ahead, use your credit card, your PayPal debit card. You know, spread your payments out. That way you aren't going to miss out, because this is the end of the season. There aren't going to be any more, and we're never sure what we're going to be able to bring you next year. So really important. 3 dozen now remain, and then it's completely sold out. It's up to us as parents, as aunts and uncles, grandparents, to be saving these monarch butterflies, and at the same time,
ensure our little ones get to enjoy and see monarchs.
Absolutely.
I mean,
we can make a difference.
Yes, exactly. I have a niece, and I think she's only seen 1 monarch in her entire life. She's 11. Imagine when I was 11, they were always fluttering in and outside of my parents' backyard. So this truly is impact gardening, not only for the monarch butterfly, but for all of your other pollinators. And the cherry on top is that these are beautiful plants. You're going to enjoy growing them. It's a feast for our eyes and a true feast for the monarch butterflies.
And even if, like me, I've never grown these, but go ahead and give them a try, because you can see how many of you are thinking about these Gerber daisies. Got those too.
Paired
Got
with
them
them,
planted.
yes.
The Gerber daisies look beautiful with this. Would I put the Gerber daisies behind, in front?
In front.
In front.
I would recommend in front. Yep, because the Asclepias will grow about 3 to 4 feet tall, and those Gerbers will max out at about 2.5 feet. So that's a beautiful layered look, as my Uncle Kurt was talking about.
Right.
Beautiful pairing, the colors, and they're both pollinator
Crepe myrtle
friendly.
behind.
Oh yeah, look at you.
Oh,
Pat
no,
knows
I
her
copied
garden.
Court.
No, that's okay. You were listening at least.
I
so
was
that's
listening.
Good. That's good.
And that's the fun thing about watching these shows. You learn from experts.
Yes.
Last call. Serious last call.
Thank you all so much who have picked up this collection.
I know you're very passionate about it, and I appreciate you educating the rest of us.
Well, thank you.
So we could be too.
Yeah, it really is, I think, the most important plant that we've ever brought to QVC, that we'll ever bring. And so thank you to all who have picked it up. And, you know, please send photos of your monarchs and enjoying them with your family.
All right, my friend. Way to go.
Thanks, Pat.
All right, thank